I suppose I should turn that on, shouldn't I? Shall I focus it? Nah, you don't want to look at me. Do you want to look at me or do you want to look at the computers? See? Much more interesting. Do you like my silicon graphics? Look at that. I'm out of focus. That's good. At my age, being out of focus helps. Yeah, Malachi, are you Marie? I've got a lady in Sweden. Well, I've got a list of things to go through, and then we'll have some Q&A. But let's have it at kind of a little bit focused, shall we? That's a bit better. There you go. Right, let's get my notes. My notes are pretty rubbish normally. Yes, say hi to my new indie. I've got some plans for that when I get it working. Wait, see if Happy takes the bait. It don't work yet. So I've got another one to check to see to get it working. Then we can go back and take it to Happy. We can set it all up on the scope and have a look what's going on. Again, this was just test, but yeah, it's not working. Right, so where are we? About 3 or 4 short of 900 have been shipped, or sitting in. There's 15 sitting waiting to be collected tomorrow. We had 100 go out today, so a lot. But I'm going to answer a question someone put up here. Mac Nemo. How many days pass before an order with the status shipped is actually shipped? And it's a really good question. So basically what we do is we assemble a whole load and we try to make it worthwhile for the courier to come and pick it up. So what you'll find is usually 2 or 3 days will pass. When it's marked shipped, that means it's in a box, it's got a label on it, it's shoved into the shipping department, which is kind of over there in the office. And then it piles up. Now, this week was interesting because we didn't have... You don't need all the... But basically, one of the vans wanted to come. I didn't want to put them all in there. It's got confusing. So anyway, we had a big collection today. I got them to send a big truck. Well, you know, a big Luton van. And he took away over 100 monitors for DHL. Normally it's about 2 or 3 days, so from when it's just there, but it'll go out pretty quick. Most people from today would have probably got their email from DHL saying it's on its way, unless you're in the UK. There's a few, but anyway, so it can take about 2 or 3 days before it actually gets to the courier. It's just the way we roll. So that's just to so hopefully that answers the question. We shipped 900. Let's be clear how many are broken, how many, because I know the question comes up. We've got 3 actually broken that were perfect when I'm not blaming anyone, but they were perfect when they left here. Obviously I personally test every single one before they're shipped, right? And I have a whole barrage of tests. Every single one in a batch of 10, you've probably seen the pictures. But of course, things happen. So we've had about 8 or 9 have got a dead pixel. I have a whole pile of sheets which to be replaced. Now, if you've got a dead pixel, you're going to get a new panel, but you can wait, right? You can wait because a dead pixel is not killing your monitor. Okay, so they're kind of. Christ, I haven't had that on that long, have I? So I'm not holding up shipping other people's monitors for a dead pixel, but I have got a list. There's about 9, maybe 10 on the list. Since we started getting them in, because obviously I paid. Now Appy, I'm not sure what's going on. I'm going to ignore Appy on the messenger. So the dead pixel's not bothered about. Don't read into that. It means that they can wait because you've got a working monitor. However, there's 3 people, one in Sweden, one in Australia, one in America. They've got actually smashed panel. The panels are just broken. but no damage. There's not been damage down, but I think it's probably been thrown or something, and it's hit the ground, and it's would have shut, and it's damaged the panels. So they're more urgent, much more urgent. I need to, but I've got no packaging. We're trying to sort out some packaging to get panels off to those people, but we will sort them out. Their priority, yeah, they're an absolute priority. As I said, the dead pixels, I've got loads of 19-inch panels in a box, right? Got loads of them. And so loads of spares. So as soon as we've got the packaging, which is going to be about 6 weeks, because I've got a load of packaging for the panels sent by the panel people, which is on the next container. So when it arrives, then I'll get them out to people. Now the other ones, we're going to try and work something out a bit different. But I've got to be careful how I send them, obviously. But sending a package to Australia and America is obviously really expensive. Panel's not the issue; it's the cost of the shipping. Now, as I said, 2 of the people, the Australian and the guy in the States, are happy to replace. The lady in Sweden, a bit more nervous. She was worried about warranty. I said, look, don't worry about it. Just do it. Get a friend in to help. They're really straightforward to take apart. So that's where we are, about 12 in total so far, which is more than I'd have hoped, but there you go. OLED jog dial comments. It has been mentioned by a couple of people that when you turn the dial on a jog dial, it's a bit weird, right? It's important to understand that the jog dial is a potentiometer. And what that means is it's just it's not a click, click, click. It might feel like a click, click, click. It's not, right? It's a potentiometer, and it's up to the software on the GPS control to interpret that. So just bear with it. Now, also bear in mind that's a freebie, right? I know people go, no, it's not. It's part of the product. For pre-order people, for people who weren't backers, that's fair point. But for backers, it was never going to be on it, right? Ever. But I added that in. So just bear in mind the way it works. It's potentiometer, and it's just the way it works. Just work with it, yeah. Down the road, it's very difficult for me to replace it because, of course, that's the way that the GPS control works with that kind of dial. Right. So on the. Again, thanks everyone on Discord. I know my title, I put on the title, I'm tired. I'm just plain tired, right? And then Dave, of course, Dave has to go off, like, oh yeah, you done nothing. What do you know, mate? Seriously, what do you know? Anyway, but it's a bit tiring because I've been like doing 9-10 hour days, 7 days a week to get these all out because I've got another container coming. He thinks I just unload them. Dave, come on, really? So anyway, we have to. There's a lot of work. We can only personally. On my own, I could do 25 monitors a day. That can go away. Go away, Happy.
Are you okay?
Yes. Go away. It's Happy saying I'm okay. So where was I before Happy interrupted me? Oh yeah. So it's taking time, and it is a bit tiring. And of course, Caroline's not been very well for past few weeks, but she's just got this cold, cough, sinus. She's got the whole works. So Anyway, we are getting them out the door. That's the key thing. And I've got another container coming in about 5-6 weeks. So we must get these out. We've got to get these out the door. So we're just doing everything we can to get them out. So the fact that you lot are all helping each other on Discord is so helpful. I can't explain it. It just takes that. I know I still get the emails, but I tend to answer the question and then give them the Discord link going, because the Discord's been really good. So I can't thank you guys enough for looking after each other. Right. So ignore the tired thing. Is no, yeah, of course I'm tired. I mean, I come out like that, right? So I just, you know, we will get these things shipped. We'll get them out the door. You can see I've got my Daddy Saurus shirt on. Right, let's get on to the 50 hertz modes. Now I want to switch over. Now this is going to look terrible. Anyone who looks at this and goes, "That's terrible," right? If you can see that monitor there, you still can't see how good it is, right? But that is 50 hertz. In fact, let me just show you. I've actually got it in. What I'm going to do is I'm going to switch. Hang on. You might enjoy this, might not. No, that's not it. Is that it? No, that's not it. There it is. Now, it's running at 50 hertz, okay, but it doesn't look like it because by the time it's gone through all the pipeline and everything else, in fact, actually, that's not looking too bad. I'm trying to set the stream to run at 50 hertz. It's, you know, I mean, it's like CPU, but, you know. Oh, it's gone jerky now. But what we're doing is, now that at the moment is, everyone should be running in that mode, 1280, 720 for VGA, if you want to get the sharpest image. However, we are working on this. There you go. Right, now it's a little bit all over the place, but if I do the, you can see 1280, 1024. So you can thank, it's a mess. Don't ignore it again. It's freaked out the OBS. It really has freaked it out, hasn't it? But it's basically it's 1280, 1024, 1280, 960, 1280, no, 1024, 760. All these other resolutions are 50 hertz. I hadn't realised that. You can thank 9X for this, okay? I was running it. I've done this explanation, but basically I set it all up and we had it made for a PAL resolution and NTSC one. But that was double scaling, whereas if you just do it through 50 hertz for the GBS, it will just smooth it once. Let me put that back to 720. So basically, so what they're working on in China is, let's get away from that. Where are we? There you go. So what they're working on at the moment is, the problem they had was they didn't have anything to generate the signal 50 hertz because not much works at 50 hertz. So they actually did it, but what they did was the scaling was a bit wrong, okay? And again, 9X came to the rescue, right, on Discord, and he pointed me, look, use a mister, right? You get a mister, and it will generate 1280, 1024, 50 hertz on HDMI and VGA. And on HDMI it was perfect, but on VGA it was buggered, right? It was kind of scaling over the screen. So it was very hard to get them in China to sort this out. So I basically had a spare mister, and I've shipped that off to China, and they've now got it. So they've now got the mister, so they can run through all these. They've even got a test card image. I can't actually show you the test card image, I don't think. But I created a test card image so they can pull it in nice, and they've got basically them in 50 hertz. All the 60 hertz ones are fine. But it was the 1280, 1024, 1280, 960, then the 1024, 768, 800 per 600, 645. All going to have 50 hertz now. And as a gift, now I'm promising this, this is for 9X. People will be very happy if you do a 1024, 1024. Don't get too excited about that because they might come back and say, what? I'm hoping they'll probably do a point to point and just drop it into the middle. So I've actually got it on the list, but we'll see what happens with that. But yeah, look, just in case anyone, look, 0%. I'm not hardly drinking anything now. I've given up alcohol, right? Well, I'm not giving it up. I'm giving it up, but occasionally, you know. Right, let's have a look at some questions and see what we got. Yeah. Right. Signal Dave. Malachi, I want to buy another one, waiting on that tax return to get here. I mean, look, the reality is, right, so let's cover this subject. Right, this is gonna be me. Hang on, I've got to put my sales guy hat on, so all of you out there can. I don't have a hat. Sales hat on, right? But here's the absolute reality and truth. Okay, I've got another container, and there's about at the moment there's a whole load. There's about 500 to 600 spare. Now, in Germany, Michael's got about 350 people that are chomping at the bit waiting to order. Okay? As soon as I've sorted out the shipping, the container, as soon as I've sorted out that we're going to pallet ship a load to him, as soon as I've got the costing sorted out, we're getting them in. Right, so that's going to leave 200 to 300. Yeah? Now, in total. So, if you do want to get another one, like I'm not making right. I obviously want to make more of these monitors, obviously, right? But people think, oh, can I just order a few more? But you can't. I have to order 1,500 because of the way it works. You can't order less than 1,000. You've got to order a big number, and so you've got to order 1,500, which is a couple of containers, probably 1,400 to make it 2 container loads to make it work. Otherwise, you get no interest out there. So, before I order another batch, I have to make sure that I'm going to sell them. So I'm going to sell all this lot, and depending on how well quick they sell, with that profit, we will then order another batch. But that batch is going to take probably 3 months to at least to make, and then 3 months to get over here. So you're talking end of the year. So if you do want one, but Monica's already got one, so I think I've confused her with someone else actually. But if you do want another one and you've got one and you're happy with it, hopefully most people have. I know that we've had people. There's Marco's got a comment. It's a fair comment. Bit of light bleed, as I said. Loosen the screws at the back, right? Because they've done the screws too tight. We on the 19-inch. We've actually made a second bezel. I have mentioned this a lot of times to improve it because it was pulling. But what's happened is when they're assembling, they're doing them up really tight and it's pulling on the panel. And it's a balancing act. You want it to touch the panel so it's neat, but you don't want it pulling on it. So just on there's 7 screws. Well, one's inside. You shouldn't have to touch that. The screws around the back of the bezel, just loosen them off a bit, and you can see it. Have a look around the front, just loosen them off a bit. Okay, if that doesn't cure it, 95% of people say that's cured it. If that doesn't, you can actually take the bezel off and just check to make sure the panel's not lifted. So undo the 4 screws around the panel, just make sure that it's pushed down and tightened up, and then put the bezel back on. Yeah, as I said, it's a balancing act to try and get it so it's as close as possible without pushing on it. Pushing on it makes the glow. Okay, so that's that. That's why I have put this in a separate video, but I've done no matter how many days. Hi Alex. Loving the first one, was going to get a second one. Okay, so I've confused you with someone else. Nice. Yes, you like my indie. Again, it's not working. Well, it is working. It boots up and powers down. It's just the fact we can't. It's not connecting to the monitor. That's why we've bought this, so that we can make it work. Make a board so it'll work with the monitor. That's the whole point of it, and we can do one of these. I don't know if you can see it. Can you see that special connector? So it's sync on green and all the other bits and pieces. So we support as many as we can. But that's experimentation work. This is going to be a little while. Right. Got a black and white one last week. Both have misters. Absolutely loving them. Well done. When is the plan to finish shipping to all backers? Where are you invoice number? Okay, so well, it's a bit invoice number's not. I'm up to invoice 3,800 ish for people who've ordered black or black and white. Having said that, if they were just because we ran out of black, I continued shipping the white, and so we went past that. So for white monitors, we went up into the 41s. But then as soon as the blacks arrived, I started from the beginning. So I'm working my way back up to 3,800. I have to I have to ship all of this lot, which is this container load. Once I've shipped this container load I've got now, all backers are supplied, apart from those who haven't paid their balances. Right? There's still people out there. Okay. Better do it or you're gonna lose out. That's all I can say. So that's that. This container load is, and it is also enough to supply some of the people who've pre-ordered. Right? They're obviously at the back of the queue, but they're probably going to get them earlier than people who haven't paid their balances. Enough of that. So, but the next container is for more pre-orders. And then I'm going to be obviously pre-selling all the German ones, and for Michael, we've got to sort them out. But I have to ship all of this lot within the next 4 to 5 weeks. So if you're a backer, every backer should, if you've paid, every backer will have one within 4 weeks, 4 to 5 weeks. Yeah, everyone should be done by then. But yeah, so if I'm on 3,800 and something at the moment. I did start again. So if you're above that, but we're shipping out about 25, 30 a day. So they are moving out fairly quickly. Did I miss anything? Yep, everything. I gave him my winning lottery ticket numbers as well. I thought it was quite high up on the list, but my order's still saying not shipped. It depends. Well, I don't know. I can't. I'm not searching now. But if you want to email me, Alex, email me. I'll check. I'll tell you where you're on the list. But I can't tell you right now. Is that SGI workstation in the background? Yes, it's my new Indie. In fact, I've wanted one for a long time. Who doesn't want an Indie, right? But it's I forget what it is now. Is it the Arcade 10 processor? It's got the fast processor in it, and it's got the extreme graphics. It's not impact graphics, but it's got the extreme graphics. So it's got really good 3D. So I really want to see what it was like, and I want to try. Maybe if I get time, I'd like to do a comparison with an Amiga 3000 with like a Pi in it. They don't do pies in that. I'll maybe compare it up against my 2000 with the Vampire. I think that would be quite interesting. Or even my 1000 with my Vampire V2 in it. Be quite interesting to see, compare. I know it's not it doesn't make any sense, but just see if they continued making them. Yeah, is India a good name for a girl? Because all my computers are girls. I mean, I don't know what it says, but yeah, the Indie's going to get a bit of. I have said I'm not trying to get you to Patreon, but all my Patreons, I'm going to do a live stream for just them, so we can have a little bit informal thing. Everyone else can see the video afterwards. But I thought it'd be quite good fun to do because I've got up on top there, you can probably just about see my L10 Mini. I want to do a couple of, but again, I've got to get shipping done, so I'm going to do that, and then we'll do people can send messages, do this, and then we'll have a play with it. Greg, I found a small screw in the morning when it arrived. It's working fine. Yeah, okay, right. So here's the thing. Yeah, look, I designed this bloody thing, right? But some of the screws, I did too many screws for screwing the front in. And they're very hard to get to. So I think what's happened is that there's some screws they've kind of got in there. Now you've got some all hands, bloody great old meat cleavers, you know what I mean? And I think they've kind of done it up, and they've done it up, and it's not quite tight enough. So we have had the odd screw that falls out. It's unlike it won't cause a problem structurally, that's for sure, right? Because they're always the same ones. It won't be causing any kind of structural issue. You do want to, if it's in there, take the boards out, just shake it out. There's a key one to look for. Just make sure the bottom bezel screw is in. Make sure that's in. But the rest of it is so strong, it's fine. So we have had the odd screw. You know, we test them when they come and, you know, put them back in, that kind of thing. But usually it's from a corner. I don't even bother putting it back in. If it's a corner, I don't bother. It's just there's too many screws in there. I went mad with the screws. But anyway, so if there is one, just take the boards out, tip it up. You might find the sound disappears and the screw didn't fall out. It might have been caught by the speaker, the magnet. Again, that's not going to do any harm. It's just caught by the speaker. History. Oh yeah, speaking of Appy, his story in the manual is inspiring. Well done. Yeah. For following his calling and finding. Yeah, look, Appy. His story's out there now, so you know he's had his demons. He's had to fight, and he's still probably fighting them. But he's off the sauce. One of the reasons I gave up was so that if he's got to give up, I'll give up too. And so he hasn't had a drop for 8 months, something like that. So again, I'm not going to go into full details, but yeah, he's on that road to recovery now, so which is great. And he should be bloody inspiring, to be honest. And hopefully he's not listening because I'm blessed with too much sunshine. But it is quite inspiring. He's a clever lot. He's really good with electronics. And what can you say? I mean, you know, I wish I'd known him bloody 30 years ago. 30 years ago. God. Apparently he was 12. That would have been a lot good, wouldn't it? Right, next question. I can wait for months. That's a week in the meantime, yeah. You know, we get them out. I'll get them out as quick as I can. And not too many problems. As I said, 3 busted, and they're still busted. But I will sort them out, and I will sort out the dead pixel ones. They're just not. They're not a priority. I've got loads of panels, but I want to get people's monitors out first, rather than that, and I want to be able to package them up safely. 9 months. There you go. Suddenly, I've got an immense obsession with the Altair 8800. Though it's weird how scarce information about it in it. Oh, I got loads of information that came with it. The guy who makes them, he's kind of collated a load of stuff, and I've got loads of stuff. So, yeah, that's gonna be quite. I mean, we actually bought it to use as a terminal, and because we got a terminal server on that. But that's one of the jobs I've got to do once I get some free time. Right. Can you let us know what tools are needed to disassemble? Screwdriver. Posi drive screwdriver. Probably a small one. Get yourself a small screwdriver. There's nothing. Oh, I've got the aluminium screw. Oh, one little tip. No one's going to remember this, but one little tip. These little, you're not going to see it. They're black. Oh, hang on, I've got a white one here. Look. These. Out of focus. Right. Spent a fortune buying these. Spared no expense. Right. These go in the back, hold the post, but they're aluminium. Okay. They're aluminium, and they're anodized, so they look nice on the back. They match in kind of the colour, but they're aluminium. Now we do them up with the screwdriver, but we just pinch them, right? Don't do what someone did and like that, snapped it, and now he's got the threads stuck in the bloody monitor. I sent it back. He managed to smash the panel, and you know we replaced it, sort of replacement for him. But yeah, he did that they're called thumb screws. The idea is you use your thumb to do them up. Don't with a screwdriver, right? You've been warned. Just phone Steve seems okay. Yeah, go away. Must be stressing to get things up and running. I'm fine, happy. I've just been tired, mate. That's all. It was kind of an ironic joke, to be fair. I'm not denying it, right? If anyone knows of my off-roading, I've got tennis elbow and golfer's elbow, and it's now appearing on here. So if any of you got that, I got that from riding a bike off-road. But of course, when I'm working, it's all going up my arm, and it's old age. That's all it is, old age. All right. The stream appears to be 60. No, technically it's. You've all got 60 Hz machines. What do you expect? So this is why. Now my monitor here, which I'm recording on and coding on, is set to 50 Hz. If your display is 60 Hz, you ain't gonna see 50 Hz looking anything but garbage. There you go. Are you saying 50 and 60 Hz net resolution, or 50 is an eye for that nice image? Right. So basically, once we got the new firmware, all the resolutions will be 50 Hz and 60, which means that the GPS can work even better and sharper and look fantastic. Right. But it'll only look good on that one. I mean, that looks amazing. Right. And for all those, right, I'm going to get myself in trouble, and I'll probably be hung by the next stream. Right. But CRTs don't do it for me, right? They just don't. Screwed up my eyes, right? Really messed up my eyes. But these panels and my other panels in here look fantastic. Get them to 50 Hz, right? That thing looks absolutely lovely. It's bright. The only thing I will agree with is because of the way the CRTs work, there's that whole blending of pixels, and that's a side effect, yeah, of not being accurate, the guns, right? So they blur them a bit, and that's been used to good effect. Whereas on these, pin sharp square, right? But you can do some really cool stuff with that. I think some people have been saying about the scan lines. Just go in GBS, set up a profile. I've done a video on the subject. I showed scan lines. But yeah, that you can do some really nice things. But on that low resolution gaming thing where they've used the pixel blending, no, you are better with the CRT. There's no doubt. Anything else? Prefer that. All right, that's me. But then I used them professionally. I used them for real. Happy's going down a car boot sale. You might get a few bob. Yeah, so ignore that. Yeah, it's not going to look smooth. That is beautiful. Infuse some caffeine. I do drink quite a bit of caffeine. Oh God, I really hate this. Hang on. The way it just jumps, it won't just move up. It just jumps about 4 pages. Hang on. Oh God. Are you right? Okay, right. I'm back on. Okay, right. La la la. Oh yes, looks worse than over here. Matisse, yeah. Andy Rezovich. Should I receive 2 remotes in my box if I got Appy Scaler? Right. If you bought the S Video add-on with the RF, then you'll have a second remote. If you didn't buy the S Video, you don't get a remote. Oh, I'm chatting forever here, aren't I? Yeah, so if you bought an S Video with the RF on it, you're going to get one. So basically, you're not going to be able to see it anyway because it's black. But if you've got just these 3 connectors, you don't need RF. If you've got this connector, then you've got the RF. And you should have an RF remote. But just send me an email right? I'll look at your order, and then I'll tell you. Is the Mister both 50 and 60 hertz capable? Anyone know? Yeah, I'm in the USA. Yes, but if you're in the US, why do you care? Because most US software is going to be 60 hertz anyway. So why do you care? If you want to play some like European titles, which were designed to run at 50, you can set it to run at 50, and it means this monitor can cope with that. But just, in fact, actually, the 128720 it works now. But once we got the final firmware, it's going to be absolutely pin sharp. Is 100 hertz also in sight? No. Why do you want 100 hertz? The only reason to want 100 hertz is, what is it called now? There's a term for it. It's in the manual. I covered a subject. Vertical blanking. So vertical blanking, that's the only reason. I don't see the point 100 hertz. Does anyone know of a retro console that runs at 100 hertz? Two in total. Oh, someone's already answered that. Oh, everyone's answering that. The monitors. Happy says my elf is like the monitors, all flirt and looking great, but still got a few niggles to sort out. Yeah, get working on them, Happy. Little tit. I had to back off 2 screws tad to resolve it. Yeah. Have you guys had a chance to look at the arse wiggle issue? A wiggle. I tell you what, Joshua, speak to Happy about that, because I've not noticed it. I think you may have emailed me about this, but you need to contact Happy. And if you want to email me, and I'll pass it on to him, and he can respond. But I don't remember a wiggle, apart from me and a dance floor. Will there be a laser phosphor display? No. Why? Loosen screws was not enough for mine. I had to loosen and push back the panel. Yeah, okay. So as I said, push back the panel. Yeah, because the problem is I don't assemble them, so I think that some of them been mounted high. And so if the loosen screws hasn't done it, just take the bezel off and just undo the 4 screws. Just make sure the panel's pushed against the frame. Don't yank it, but just push it down and then tighten it up. Then put the bezel back on. What order are you up to with the 17s? It's irrelevant. But if you want to know, Tom, just email me and I'll tell you where you are in the queue. But you should know. As I said, I've started again, and I'm up to 38 something, and I'm steaming through them, yeah. And so it's not like if you're on 4400, that doesn't mean there's 600 in front of you, because a lot of the orders are extras, yeah. So I'm in low. Oh, Alex, I'm low 3900s blacks. Oh, you should have one within a week, yeah. Because as I said, you should be getting one fairly soon. What's the split between black and white? What do you mean? What's the split between black and white? Total sales 60-30. 2/3, 1/3. Sorry, 2/3 white, 1/3 black. I checked my order now. I have tracking. Okay, well there you go. If my invoice is 4700, does that mean the monitor was shipped from the 3rd container? It's hard to say. It is hard to say. I don't know what the actual numbers is, but there was about 50 monitors that are going to fall into the next one. But it's going to roll on because it's coming in 5 or 6 weeks. So it's going to, even this lot, it's going to take me 4 or 5 weeks. There will be probably a week gap, and then we'll start shipping the rest out. So it's not like it's a big delay. So it might add a week. But it's hard to tell at the moment. Is 9X in the chat? He's currently looking at my arse wiggle. I don't think so. I don't know. Is that a technical term? Yeah. Happy does technical terms really well. Yeah. Oh, here we go. Right. I only care about what comes out of the screen, the big one and the OLED. Hail Brittany from the group here. Good with electronics. Understatement of the year. I'm not quite sure. I missed that, I think. Also, deep diving at least will be once I finish making the Mega ST all lovely. Okay, when I get something. Silly question. In this day and age, RF shielding isn't necessarily legally required anymore, right? Interesting. It's an interesting question. I haven't put any on it, as you can probably tell. But I don't think there should be an issue with it. But you know, it might be that, you know, maybe at some point in the future, because we've had the standard monitors all tested for RF, and we've done all of that, as you see on the back of the monitor. But that's the standard monitor, okay. So I would have thought the RF might be a little bit, but do you want it or not? I mean, we can take it out if you know. It's not really going to be an issue. I think I don't know. At some point we can have a look. When can you test the Arcuda version of your monitor? When it arrives. They are working on it pretty hard. As soon as they've got one that's finished, they're going to send it to me. And then, so that's still a little way off, but it's coming, you know. For those that do not know, the Arcuda will be native 15 kilohertz, 24 kilohertz, and normal VGA 31 kilohertz, and have HDMI input. In theory, it should also work with the scaler as well. So you can plug in Appy's scaler. That's why Appy's just mentioned the scaler without the scaler. So we've got to experiment with that. We've got to wait until it arrives and see if it works. But I'm not sure how it's going to work yet. But we'll see. Never over tighten thumb screws. Yeah. Especially not with a big screwdriver. Will you be shipping the RF S video boards soon? I've been shipping them for ages. I've shipped 500 of them. Oh, unless you mean the separate ones that you forgot to order. Yeah, they're going to be later, right? When I get some time, I'll go through, because I'm working my way through the invoice numbers. I assume you mean because you didn't order it. I will get to them and I will ship them out. And you've got one there, but you know, just bear with me. Once I get a bit of a gap, then I'll just go through all those orders and just box them up and send a whole load out. But you should have ordered them at the time. You need good health for the next 30, 40 years. I'm assuming he's not talking about me. You know I'm 63, right? I don't think I'm going to last to 103. I slept... Oh, God! Right. I slept in on the day when the RF tuner freebie for the S video was announced. It's not a... it's never... Oh, okay. So, it's never been a freebie. Originally, we was going to do it as a separate little box, like it was an S video box and an RF box. And then we just came to get them to make. We got that thing, make it so that we put both boards on one. And they went to China, who make both, and they just done it for us. And we just stuck it on Appy's board. I know Appy's going to mention, I had to help. Yeah, he did a little bit to help tidy it up, and because it was a little bit noisy, so we got them to move things around and tidy it all up a bit. He's gonna have a go at me about that. Had to change machines. I ordered an S video card too. Wish now I had done so originally. Late stream. Did I miss anything? Yeah, everything. Autofocus not working. Not sure what you mean about that. Email me. And video be good. Lovely field feature holes. Grumble. Wait. Oh, okay. Yeah. Well, you know, grumble. Tough. I'm sorry, but look, you should have bloody ordered it at the time. Whole point was, it's a pain in the ass shipping them separately. It really is. Am I in the next lot? Invoice 4671. Hard to tell. It is. I mean, seriously, it's hard to tell. I don't know. You know. As I said, even if you are, you'd only be a week later, so it won't be a big deal. And you say, look at the picture. Just get my shipping notification. Yeah, there you go. Black frame insertion, maybe. No, not on these. These ain't quick enough. These panels are not quick enough. I because I never used to know anything about it, but it's I always forget what it. There's a name. Strobe backlight strobing. So you draw a frame and then blank it, and then draw a frame, then blank it, and by doing that, it's almost like a CRT. The problem is the panel has to be really high refresh rate, and IPS is not particularly high refresh rate. So 13 milliseconds, which you can't do. You'd have to do minimum 120 because to support 60 and 50. But you know that may come in the future. I mean, look, if we sell millions, well, if we sell thousands and thousands of these, then I'll definitely invest in doing an upgrade. So that, and again, you can always just swap the panel and controller out. But that's for the future. Closest I know of some DOS machines running boosted refresh rates, I've seen 89. Good. You're not getting it. We do 50, 60 and 75 hertz, which I think is enough. Any thoughts on Acorn Electron support? Do you still need a test machine? Okay, well, it's a bit late in the day. I know you have been having a bit of problem. If you as you probably gather, I've got quite a few machines, right? My BBC Micro works fine. Yeah, I bought a BBC Micro. I assumed the Electron would be the same. Apparently, it's not. I may get round to getting one. I mean, even my A3000 Archimedes works, which is down there. Even my Archimedes works fine. So through SCART, maybe in the future. I got the wiggle on SCART. New premium gold plate SCART not solved the issue. Okay. Speak to Appy. But you need to tell us what machine you're using. You know what I mean? Because that you haven't said anything there. You may have emailed me, right? But we need to know what machine, you know, and do a video of it so we can see it. But of course, if it's on some right, and this is gonna don't read too much into this, but if it's not on the list that we tested against, but if it's one of the machines that obviously we did test it against, I'm not saying we won't fix it either way. It just means that, you know, we need to. If it's a machine we've already tested, then I can't see why it would be causing an issue, because I mean there's RGB SCART there and there's RGB SCART there, they're working great. But if it's a machine we haven't done, then we're gonna need to have a look. More of a bend, but a group has settled on wiggle as an understood term. Okay. If you talk about on the Amiga a very slight curve, I think I've seen that on one of mine, but it's a very slight curve. But if you've got, because at the end of the day, this is just displaying what's being pumped into it, so that's a testing thing. Right. Do you have schematics for slot 0 PCB now? I haven't had time to troubleshoot why 5V is missing from my MES header, but I'd like to get the HDMI switcher working eventually. I have a better idea. Email me. I'll send you a new HDMI board. Why are you... Because email me, tell me what the problem is, right? Because we've had about 2 or 3 people where it's going through the HDMIs, but when you plug in, it's not working, right? And swapping the board solved it. Yeah. So, you know, these are little things. I mean, I'm not going to go send... We're not going to get the PCB design because it incorporates the Chinese company's controller tech. Okay, and they're not going to give me all that. We don't mind sharing the other bits, but they want to protect that. But yeah, I mean, look, by all means, if you can't, why 5 volts is missing from my MES header. I mean, speak to Appy, right? Have a word with Appy. But I mean, I'm happy to send you when I've got a spare 5 volt one. When I've got a spare MES switcher, I don't mind sending one out to you. I'm mad about bleeding dead pixel. Loosen screws help, but didn't resolve. I'll remove the bezel and see if the panel is seated properly. Excellent. My order 8366. Is it safe to assume I won't see it until March, April? I'll have a quick look because I mean, it's really hard to. Bear with me a second. I'm going to do a live check. 8366. Christ, you only ordered it, bloody. You ordered it 4 weeks ago. Do you remember what it says at the bottom? It says 3 to 4 months. You're going to be probably 6 weeks. Yeah, so more than in time. Oh God, stop doing that. 120 hertz, for instance, would allow black flame. Yeah, it would, but it won't work with these panels, right? The panel is retro panel, 60 hertz and 50 hertz, and you get 75. It's not a 120 hertz panel. Okay, they are totally different beasts, and you'd be unlikely to get them. I'm not saying impossible, but what's the panel look? Go to panellook.org or .com, see if you can find them, and they got to have thousands. Not that I'll buy thousands, but they're a nightmare to get. Getting panels is terrible. I don't think we know specific about the Arcuda board other than it will be low latency beast. It will just be native, right? I personally don't give a monkey about all this, but a lot of people want it to be purely native 15 kilohertz, right? I don't notice it, right? It works great on the scaler. I don't get it myself, but it will be native 15 kilohertz. There'll be no scaling up to 31 kilohertz. That's the secret sauce. Plus, the panel apparently is a better panel. We'll wait and see what it looks like. I'm not going to comment either way. But yeah, it's a more expensive panel. It's going to be faster. We'll wait and see. Are you optimistic I'll make it to 103? Yeah, good luck. Although my daddy's 90. I didn't add the RF add-on myself because the credit card issues started and I didn't want any more. Yeah, a lot of people have fun with that. When you turn the camera back on, it showed it was in manual focus, so you're a bit blurry. Yeah, I know. Because if I turn it to autofocus, this silly camera, well, it's not, it's a good camera. But if you, here, this is what happens. I'm perfectly in focus, right? In fact, it's showing up with the state of me, right? But you've also got that lovely box. So what I do is I turn the autofocus off and I back it off a bit. So I'm getting a big mixture of both. If you have wiggle issues and you're on Discord group, add your details to the support form for Everfuse. Like, look into this. This is what I mean about that group. Discord. God, Starius, you're a legend. 9X, you're a legend. JW Flow wrote a couple of manuals. The fact that you're all helping each other is making my life so much easier. Seriously is, because I'm not. Look, I know I made this. I'm tired. Well, I'm not gonna lie, right? I get home and Dave thinks you've unloaded a few boxes. Yeah, one day, then I had 6 bloody weeks of assembling machines. Dave, you're a muppet, right? We'll discuss that another time. I'm already 5 months, Aaron. I'm not sure what that means, but I assume that means, I don't know what that means. You're 5 months old, or Looking forward to the Arcuda in the future. Yeah, there's an awful lot of monitors I've shipped, right? And they've got Arcuda on it. So I've had to tick them off, right? So at some point, I've got a whole list. There's about 70 to 80 monitors for Arcuda. So I know all about it, right? You didn't get your Arcuda, but I've got a record of it. And when they come, we'll sort that out. My display arrived finally. Looks amazing and works perfectly. Thanks for the whole. Oh, good. Glad to hear it. Most have waited 2 years, though. 5 months is a breeze. Yeah, exactly. I got people who ordered January. Like, really? I'm only joking, but it said 3 to 6. No, I changed it to 3 to 4 months. You would have actually been... Yeah, you'd have been 3 months by then. Other people wait a lot longer. Have a second beer. Good idea. Ugh. Oh, okay, yeah, I get it. All right, now the first update from DHL arrived. Delivery date 28th. There you go. Right. Any more questions? Because I'm gonna go. Because as usual, I've talked to forever. Let's see. Look. I'll tell you what though. One interesting thing. I was a bit concerned that the guy's he's got a garage full of indies. No, Silicon Graphics, big ones, little ones. But I was really worried it'd be a bit ratty, you know. But my God, he's really picked out a nice one for me, and I'm gonna keep that forever. I literally am. I'm gonna keep that forever. It is. I've always wanted a Silicon Graphics. You know they cost about as much as a house back in the day. 400 quid I paid for that. Beast. When I do the video, I'm going to do a video on it. Once I've got it working with the monitors, okay? I'm going to do a video on it. And I'll give you the details. Because I did say to the guy who does them, I said, do you want to come on the video? And he was like, no, I don't want to do that. But I'll give you all the details. So anyone who's interested in indie, okay, you can get in touch with him. I'm really pleased with it. I don't want to sound... It's the kind of thing that I would have potentially designed if I had a clean slate. It's just brilliant. Anyway, right. Oh my God. Mega related campaign started before COVID. I'm still waiting. Oh, okay. Enjoy night. Looking forward to monitor tech. Have you installed the 3D file navigator from Jurassic Park? No, I haven't got any. Interestingly, I asked him to put all the software on, and the guy's an absolute legend, right? Look at this. Not only is it all now you're gonna see it don't work. I can't display anything yet because the bloody monitors doesn't support it yet, right? But that's that's one like Appy's kind of put it together. Yeah, didn't work. These things, that's what happens, right? So I've got to go and see Appy. I've got this other one coming, which apparently definitely works. Get that working, and then we'll go take it all over to Appy, and we'll sit down and we'll figure out what's going on, and then we'll make this work. And then once we've got it all working, then we'll do a card with a terminal on it, right? So that'd be fantastic. But this guy set it all up, and then he gave me a backup hard drive of the whole thing. He just snapshotted the whole me. So if the hard drive dies, I've got a backup. Awesome. What a great guy. And then in here, whole load of obviously copies, yeah? CDs. I was just absolutely made up. So that's gonna that's my bum. It weighs about 4.3 ton. You can make a mint if you do a production run of SGI colour monitors. I don't think I haven't thought about it. The trouble is they do purple and teal, yeah. But if we get everything working, because ideally what I'd like is, well, I don't know about putting it on the main monitor, but we have to kind of put it on a card. once we get it all working for all the monitors, I have to make a lot. You know, I have to do a color run. I have to make it about 500 monitors of that color, because it's just not worth the time. Because the amount of time it takes to set the mold up, I mean, they run them out in about 10 minutes, and they go, now what? I've got to clean it all up again. So you have to make a lot of them. So I don't know if that's. So mint is probably not true. Technical monitor should be granite. Oh, you see, some want it teal, some want it purple, some want it black, some want it granite. They never made a granite monitor, did they? They made a granite keyboard. You get one of those SD cards, SCSI. Yeah, I'm considering that. Check the side screws on the monitor after you remove the bezel. They were very tight as well. Yeah, I know. They have tightened them up a little bit too much. There is some of that. Now look, just to be clear, I'll say it again. As long as you're careful, because I've designed this monitor to be upgradable, and as long as you're careful and you don't bloody snap them, because all I did, I just sent it back with a broken screw thread. Tough, right? If you want to open it up, take it apart, you're not going to kill your warranty, right? If a part dies, I'll replace it. If it's like you've had it a while, and I think it will, you know, we'll charge you a fee for replacing it, right? But basically, don't be scared to work on it. I want people to be able to do that. Just be careful with it, yeah. It's, you know, it's a bit of kit. Just be gentle with it, and then you'll be fine. Yeah, find Appy on Discord. Yeah, they're on there more than I am. I just, that's why I like the fact, because when I come home and I just need to do something else. Answer the emails. Right, I'm going. There's no more questions, so I'm gonna go. So, thanks very much. I'll just go back to this because this I think is pretty cool. Look at that. It's not all. Now look. On my screen, on OBS, that is perfectly smooth going along there. That text going across the bottom is absolutely smooth. Now, probably going out through the stupid YouTube algorithm, it's terrible, but mainly because you need your monitor switch to 50 Hertz. It's pointless watching a 50 Hertz video on a 60 Hertz display. So there you go. Dark grey, okay. Not smooth here because it's been converted to 60. Yeah, because no, it's probably not that. Your monitor, look at your monitor settings, it'll be 60 Hertz. Because I'm actually streaming at 50, okay. In fact, it should. Oh no, it is. No, you're right. Yeah, that's very helpful. I'm actually streaming into the. Maybe I've got a setting wrong. You're right, it is set to 60 Hertz, but my output is 50. Anyway, there you go. Yeah, I can see it. I've got it there. Right, okay. But there is a video. There is a video on YouTube on my site. If you want the link, because I've made it hidden because I can't be bothered with people telling me it looks rubbish. Because you need to set it does work at 50 Hertz. If you switch your monitor to 50 Hertz, it then plays it back at 50. But that was an uploaded. Anyway, I'm gonna say goodbye if I can figure out where the buttons all are. Right. So thanks very much for joining us. 107 people at the moment. I will. I don't know about next week, but I will do an update. I'll keep sending pictures. Yeah, bloody 50 Hertz, 60 Hertz. Thanks a lot for joining in, and I will see you soon. Bye.